Before we can be a good witness, we have got to learn this idea of witness. Before they would speak for him, they would need to learn to listen to him. And to listen to him, they would need to join paths with him. And to join paths with him, they would need to join paths with one another. And joining paths is critical in our ability to hear from God. Because on our own, we are far more likely to convince ourselves that God is just telling us whatever it is we want to hear. This is a huge problem in our culture today. There was a fourth century general named Demosthenes in the Greek culture, and he's famous for having said, there's nothing easier in the world than self-deception. I can't tell you how many people have come to me and said, God told me this, or God told me that. And the this or the that didn't at all line up with Scripture. And listen, it's not hard to find someone who will agree with you, especially today, especially in a culture that promotes ideas like do whatever makes you happy, or ideas like live your truth. And we fail to recognize just how dangerous those ideas can be. Let's look at it this way. Show of hands here and at the campuses and in the chat. How many of you have ever been skydiving? Anybody? A few of you. How many of you would go skydiving if you were given the chance? Okay? I just wanted the rest of you to see the crazy people sitting around you today. But imagine if somebody who was skydiving, standing in the airplane, and they're about to jump out, they just took off their parachute and laid it down. The people around them would be like, hey bro, what are you doing? They'd be like, don't worry. God told me I can fly. It's my truth. They might be like, well bro, your truth is about to get you killed. In a moment like that, do we want to live our truth or do we want to live the truth? In a moment like that, do we want people around us who are just going to let us live our truth? Listen, if we know that God is perfect, and we know that his word is perfect, then here's a good baseline reminder for all of us, and I'm begging you to hear this today. If God is telling you to do something that is not consistent with his word, then it is not God you are hearing from. If God is telling you to do something that is not consistent with his word, it is not God you are hearing from. So here's a challenge for you. If you are convinced that God has told you something, that's great. All I would ask is that you put it to the test.